hurdle. And having a great team like this just made it really easy.
Thanks, Matt. And one question for Stu. What did you like about the process, and what could be improved? And would you do it again?
Yeah, I don't think I properly stated what I really liked about it is $3.3 million for this project. And then these two walked in the door, and then it became $2.1 million because our basis got lowered so much, and we were able to push off quite a bit of the cost of this project off our balance sheet, like Grant said. So, you know, I'm an investment company, so what I like the most is, you know, the money part of it. So that was exciting. And you know what, that's the legislation, or, you know, I know Kirsten was part of that, and there's a whole group of government people. They're really wise in how they set this up, because that's the way you're going to get things done, and how we're going to help the environment, frankly. I mean, that's just a fact. So this space is about 18,000 feet. The reason why we bought the building is because we thought we could transform this space into office space. And at the end of the day, after all the demolition, after putting in the windows and the HVAC and all the mechanical systems and the lighting and what have you, we're going to be all-in cost of about $3.3 million. And we were prepared to do that before I even met Kirsten and Grant. And if you look at $3.3 million, it's $180 a foot. And if anyone knows anything about building new buildings, it's about $400 a foot to build a building. And we're building a building on top of another building, basically. This is 18,000 foot building we basically took from scratch and making it into new Class A space. And I think we're going to get lease rates commensurate with new construction type lease rates. So we're very excited about this. But so Kirsten and Grant came into my office one day and explained this PACE program. And basically, I think you've heard this a few times already, is you're converting the savings that you get in energy, those monies, those dollars that you would pay to the utility company, and you convert that money into energy saving capital improvements. And that is basically it. And very quickly in that meeting, I realized that we're doing 80% of these improvements that would qualify for the PACE program anyway. And we were prepared to use equity money or conventional financing, which we would have to pay back if we were to sell. And that's been the problem with owners of vintage buildings, is that the capital improvements to do these energy saving type capital improvements, the costs, you would never get the return. You would never, to get a return, let's just say for this curtain wall was 25 years or something, one that's less or something like that. For the lighting, it's 3 years. So the key is to match up these different improvements and use the PACE program with banks that are willing to amortize this over 20 years, and the energy savings match up with the costs of the tax increase. The other great thing about this is that, you know, a fair taxing system is when the payer is the beneficiary. And the payer in this instance will be the tenants through the operating expenses, but because the taxes will increase, but their utilities will decrease, and it should be a net zero sum at the end of the day. And that's what we strive for, and that's what Group 14 helped us achieve. We would eliminate some improvements and increase others just to be able to balance out that operating expense, so we didn't have an effect on our net operating income. The other important thing is, so at the end of the day, it pays for itself. And then it stays with the building because private owners generally don't keep buildings for 20 years. They'll keep them for 3 to 10 years. And so therefore, the improvements stay with the building and the payment for those improvements stay with the building over time. And then lastly, the city is giving everyone a grade on their efficiency, on their energy efficiency. In my opinion, that's just the start. And I don't know this for a fact, but it's going to be not too long from now, the city's going to impose on the building owners to hit a number, I think. I think there are some cities that do that already out there in the country. And now that we have a vehicle, this mechanism to make those improvements, I don't think there will be as big a pushback as if it was an imposed system without a mechanism to make those improvements and to complete them. One more thing is more and more tenants are looking at these grades. And there's going to be national tenants who will say, I'm not going into a building unless they have a 90% efficiency rating or whatever the number is. And it'll start with the national tenants and it'll percolate down to the local tenants over time. And if you're not doing these improvements, you'll be compelled to because you'll have empty buildings at the end of the day. So the newer buildings will automatically be efficient. It's these older buildings that we do in this city where we try to take a vintage building and make it a Class A, Class B, raise the level of quality, raise the rents, hopefully we can, to make it all pencil out, that this helps us get to the energy efficiency numbers that is necessary in this new world that we're entering into. So that's all I have to say.